free bonus items valued at 150,000 naira. Bonus 1. Extra large rotating stainless mesh basket. Stainless steel rotisserie fork, stainless steel food handle, premium knife set for all your cutting and slicing needs. Absolutely free. Call the number on your screen now or scan the QR code to order the CookX Air Fryer Oven. We'll also deliver the CookX Air Fryer Oven to your door for free. But hurry up! This exclusive ShopX TV offer is available for a limited time only.
The proceeding is a paid presentation by ShopX TV.
Every second, every minute, every hour, and every day, time doesn't just tick away. It's a countdown to political decisions that shape our world.
This country must move.
Imagine the impact these decisions have on our lives. Some are consequential, others may leave us intrigued or baffled.
You will have no better friend and partner than Nigeria.
Step in and feel the frenzy like never before. Join me every weekday for an hour of fact-finding interviews where questions cut to the core.
How would you say your administration has fared in these sectors?
I will dig in to get to the heart of issues, from local politics to global insight. Join me as I unearth the power plays, jaw-dropping revelations, and the unfiltered truth. This isn't just politics, it's unraveling the stories that matter. Brace yourself for Politics Tonight every weekday at 8 p.m, where every decision echoes along the corridors of our lives. Politics Tonight, only on TVC News.
Stay ahead with the biggest news stories. Go beyond the news headlines. Experience impactful investigations. Enjoy resourceful news coverage in real time. TVC News at 7 and TVC News at 10 p.m. Live every day on this channel. TVC News. First with breaking news.
I'm Miriam Lunge. I'm a passionate environment advocate and a published author.
I am the founder of Celebration, a businesswoman, and a fashion icon.
I am a wealth coach and a real estate developer.
I am Amako Arakwe. I'm a corporate commercial lawyer and an entrepreneur.
Hello and thank you for joining us on the midweek edition of Journalist Hangout. I'm Benga Oreshegun. Today on the program, Presidency denies sacking of defense and power ministers, orders crackdown on fake news website. Okowa knocks Saraki over comments on his defection from PDP to the APC. And later on the show, Father Kuka commends Kaduna State Governor's peace efforts, seeks support for him. I'll be hanging out with Coyote, Ladede, and Asupo James. Journalist Hangout starts right now. Now let's begin the conversation. In an era where misinformation spreads rapidly online, decisive action is needed to protect public trust and national stability. This was the stance taken by the presidency when it debunked claims that President Bola Tinubu sacked the Minister of Defense, Mohammed Badaru, and that of Power, Adebayo Adelabu. The special advisor to the president on information and strategy, Bayo Nonuga, described the story as completely false and warned citizens against falling for unverified information. The government announced a crackdown on websites peddling falsehood. There we go again. Fake news, misinformation, rumor, and all. But the thing is, the president has enough spokespersons, you know, to release official information. But why do we still have misinformation regarding, you know, the government? Talk to me, Kaide.
Why do we still have misinformation? I think the answer is very direct. As long as there's some mischief makers, as long as there's some interest, as long as there are some political foes existing everywhere, some bloggers are waiting to jump on these stories. Some bloggers, some story who probably have no shame, pardon my language, because we've talked about the impact of fake news.
True.
The day, as a journalist, I found out that you're a purveyor of fake news, I'm not likely to touch your story ever again, especially when I know it's a costly one for that matter, because credible medium, when they release unverified stories, probably they were careless, or someone who is a big junior doesn't know all the process of verification and it pushes. You will see such medium, they will come out and apologize that we carried a story that is not true.
Take responsibility.
That's saying that somebody can make a mistake.
Absolutely.
But when it is your normal trade in business where you push out fake news, and it's painful that some people still give them benefit of doubt. Some people even took their stories hook, line, and sinker. So that's the pain. And for me, you know, I wanted to say that, like you said, maybe, for example, no, I'm not sure Asuko saw it. I didn't see the story until federal government reacted, which means that federal government has even helped them to, you know, to amplify it. And so, but then, because when you see stories like that, check who are the people that carry these stories.
The source.
What kind of medium carried the story before you believe? And this is not for you and Asuko, it's for our viewers.
Absolutely.
To have this basic understanding about news. Stop this mindset that journalists have been paid. That's why they are not reporting the truth.
Okay, let me come to Asuko, because many Nigerians wonder that why some ministers, like the Minister of Power, looking at the situation of power situation in the country, you know, they still have their jobs. Could this be responsible for the fake news, in your opinion?
Well, that shouldn't be a reason for it, because if the president is back, the president has a job. He's the one that actually employed the Minister of Power. And if he wants to, you know, relieve him of his duties, he will not go and be looking for one pirated website, you know, for him to, you know, pass his information. That's why he has you know, he has aides in the media aides for him to do the work. And Bayo Onanuga will do that easily, or the Minister of Information will do that. You know, he won't. Even if the president is angry in Aso Rock, okay. Oh, I'm angry, I don't like what you have done, or there's no power, people are complaining. It doesn't, if he wants to relieve any of them, he knows the channel to pass.
Absolutely.
You know, and the man being angry doesn't mean that, oh, he's going to, you know, sack. He might say, okay, fine, go and do this, go and do this, go and do that. And then everything is, you know, will be done. Not that because the president is, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know.
You know, somebody will now go and say, the president was angry. Maybe one of the aides will be somewhere, you know, discussing with his friend, and somebody else will now hear, and then from there it turns into a story.
Absolutely.
You know, all those things are just, you know, rumor that we cannot take hook, line, and sinker. No, my own problem now is where even the mainstream, you know, media organizations would always take that fake news and turn it into a story. You understand? That is the major thing.
And it's troubling.
Also, the president has also called for a crackdown of all these fake news websites.
The presidency. No?
The presidency. Yeah. Now, the thing is, who will bail the company? I mean, where should we start from? How do we do that? Going after them? Should it be stiffer punishment? How is that even possible?
I perceive what Bayo Onanuga is trying to do is let us not just be debunking and rebutting
Exactly.
these stories. Let people know there are penalties.
True. Let's
It is
go after
happening
them.
in some civilized climes. Let people not delude themselves that social media cannot be regulated.
True.
That's a very sensitive topic that people don't want to talk about. And these are signals that people should stop. They should take their rantings to people who carry fake news, irrespective of their sentiment, irrespective of what they love to hear. They should scold people who carry fake news. Few days ago, they said it is Obey that died. The other one,
someone was kidnapped.
They just come up with all kinds of stories, and people will tell us when we tell them it's not true. They will tell us we are hiding the truth. What do I stand to gain? So I'm saying that I think Bayo Ononuga is just taking it notch higher.
Absolutely.
Don't give us unnecessary work, because what he did is additional work, because they will say presidency has not reacted. I even remember when they said Wike is in the hospital, Wike was about to die, and I explained to someone that it is not true. If you see the way they jumped at me, they said the man has paid all of you. That is why you are hiding the story. I even told the president, I said, Wike just spoke now, watch it on TVC. The president said, show me. Let me see him. Let me see the video.
Thomas, I want to
see. If it is just the script you told me, I don't believe. I want to see the video. We provided the video.
No, the thing is, what we should do, or what people should keep doing, because 2023 was when we saw fake news everywhere. Even BBC did a report on it. We need to find a way of trying to stop them. I remember one of those websites, trying to claim that Fashola was one of the people that wrote the verdict for
the verdict, exactly.
Tribunal, then election tribunal.
All right, just
petition the IGP.
I apologize, just hold that thought. We have Josh calling from Ikeja, or George calling from Ikeja. Let's talk, George.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon to you.
Greetings to all of you there.
Yeah, let's talk.
What I want to say is that the government itself has itself to blame for these things.
Really?
There is no society. Yes, there is no society where people do not pay for their crimes. Otherwise, crimes will blossom in such places.
Okay.
There's a TV station in this country. The only thing they know how to do is to promote lies and honor people who are there to talk down our country. We have a regulatory authority, nothing happens to them. We have a presidential candidate in this country who is trying to become the president of this country. He goes outside the country and demarcates us, makes statements that he cannot prove. He comes back, nothing happens to him. Nobody questions him. So if a blogger is doing what you are discussing there, and nothing is done to those who have done it before, does it not suggest that it is a place where you can just do anything and get away with it?
Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Very key.
It's very key. So that is where part of the regulation will come in.
Exactly.
So if you are publishing, there should be sanctions. And even you that you are going outside as a person, if we know you, there should also be sanctions. You understand? Where did you get the information? Because if we do not, regulate it in such a way, we are not saying we want to stop, suppress press freedom or whatever. Because that is always what people say. They want to suppress press freedom. No, but even in saying clients, there is a level at which you can go when you are publishing.
And there should be consequences for for bad behavior. All right, let's talk politics this time. So our next conversation. Political defections in Nigeria rarely pass without arguments for and against such moves. A former governor of Delta State, Ifeanyi Okowa, has knocked a former president of the Senate, Senator Bukola Saraki, over his remarks concerning his defection from the People's Democratic Party, PDP, to the All Progressives Congress, APC, challenging his credibility on the subject. Saraki had described Okowa's defection as unprecedented and an indication of deeper leadership crisis within the PDP. Okowa, however, questioned Saraki's moral authority, pointing out that he too had once left the PDP for the APC and returned. Yes, Senator Okowa said, talking to the former Senate president, said he lacks the moral right to criticize him about his defection. But talk to me. Do you agree with him?
No, of course. You know, everybody, when some people don't, pan to your side, you become pope overnight. You start sounding lyrical. Okay. Thinking, seeing as if you're a Puritan. That is what most politicians do. But once you now dig deep, that is when you now know, but what is wrong with you? You were also part of it. Like Saraki, for instance, he left PDP and came to APC, and he became a Senate president.
Absolutely.
Before he now, and he decided in 2018 to go back. You understand? And that is when, Okowa, and if you look at it, someone like Saraki honestly should not be telling Okowa, no, you should not be doing that. Rather, he should be asking Okowa, why did you do that? And then listen. I've tried to listen, or I've listened to the reasons that he gave. And he said, I know Okowa at least for 8 years that we've been, interacting. I've been interacting with some of his aides and all that. The kind of person he is. He doesn't take decisions by rush. He consults before he will take decision. And that is what he has done.
So you think his reasons for defecting are valid and not opportunism, like some people have been?
Some people will say opportunism. Let me tell you, every politician does anything by interest. Okay. So he would have looked at what will I gain if I stay with this party. And they are also looking at the future. Will there be a PDP? And we are talking about 2 years' time. By next year now, governance can either be stopped and then everybody will be paused.
Exactly. Paused.
Suspended a bit, and everybody will be talking about 2027.
Absolutely.
So he's also looking at, will this vehicle be able to help me or help my political family? Because let me use that word. Because he himself does not look at himself alone. He's looking at his political family. At 2027, by the time it's 2027, will this vehicle, PDP, help my political family? Okay. And who is his major political family? It's the governor. The present governor, Sheriff, is the one leading that family. He might be the head, but the thing is, somebody is, like the driver. So will PDP help my party? If the PDP won't, which other party do we have? They have decided to go to APC. And I'm very sure it will be a tough decision for them to have, made. Because everybody knows that Delta is a strictly a PDP state.
From time.
Strictly. So once you are saying, the APC perhaps would have made, they were already making inroads anyway. And they were already looking at taking that seat from PDP. So I will see it as Okowa being doing a master stroke. He has reasoned that if he has in two things that I've looked at. One, APC, they are at the center and they're already making major inroads into Delta. They could have cleared them.
He has said that he has no right, the moral right to criticize. Is it a case of a pot calling kettle, what's going on?
Gbenga, one thing I tried to do when I saw this topic is to look for where Saraki made the statement. And I wasn't lucky to find anywhere. Now, I was able to realize that it was a reaction to a question fielded to Okowa in a live interview, a TV interview. They must have said this, Saraki said this, and it would be like, sir, what? You could have mentioned another name. Do you understand? So, absolutely, maybe Saraki needs to say that statement again or react to what he has said.
I hope it's not fake news.
Exactly, because he has no moral basis at all. Okowa is not wrong in any form or shape. However, I have a bit of a different view, with what Asuko has said. I think the big lesson here is for followers to understand that the way the politicians think is not the way they think.
True.
A whole lot of them are guided by their emotions they do not think about the political survival of these politicians. So they are so disappointed. Many of them are not happy. I'm talking about ordinary people who probably don't know the rationale behind decisions. So I want to believe that, personally, I was shocked with Okowa when I saw the story, because this is somebody who was the backbone, practically, when Wike became a problem for PDP, who was the backbone of the 2023 presidential election. And for this person to leave, it's like you have killed PDP. And you do not expect PDP not to react. I listened to Abba Moro too on another channel when he was saying that we made a mistake by even fielding Okowa as a vice. They were making careless and painful statements, because for them, how do we react? We can't just keep quiet.
All right, just hold that thought, gentlemen. We have Raji calling from Oshogbo. Raji, thank you for joining the conversation.
Thank you for having me. And God bless you for doing a wonderful job. The problem with Nigerian political field is all these political jobbers, they want to, anything that will favor them is what they want. They don't have the interest of the people in their heart. Now, nobody will say they are doing this, what they are doing, in the interest of the people. Saraki moved from PDP to APC, and they moved from APC to PDP. Nobody blame me. In fact, when he came into APC, he became Senate president by crook and means. Nobody blame him. So if truly he made that statement, I don't think he has moral right to do that. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. Now let's look at what the former Senate president said. He said it is an indication of how low politics has become in Nigeria. Now, in your opinion, what this massive defections, some will call it Hurricane Tinubu or something.
There is no.
But what is the implication of this for Nigeria's democracy when you see this kind of defection? The whole.
No, Benga, I know Kayode said something that he was shocked. Me, I am not usually shocked when the politician takes decision. Because one, politics is interest-driven. It is them first before us. Forget about whatever they say at the soapbox. That one is their own. Because they will always say it. You know,
but should it be like that?
Eh?
Should it be like that?
No, that is what they call politics.
Without any ideology to stand with.
Now you talk ideology.
When you talk ideology, in Africa, tell me which African country that they will tell you they are conservative. At the end of the day, you find out that they will tell you, oh, we are going to do a progressive idea.
Nigeria is unique with defections. We are very good.
We are very good with it. Sure, you understand? So the thing is first their interest,
now, what's
and
the
then second,
for our
people.
Democracy then?
We have our own kind of democracy. Nigeria is different.
Oh, we need to redefine that.
So that is it. So I think that is where our leaders will start to think. Are we practicing, when they say we are practicing federalism, what kind of federalism are we practicing?
Is it true?
Are we practicing democracy? What kind of democracy? So it is something that maybe those in the academia should now start thinking. Should we start looking at the Nigerian kind of democracy or the Nigerian kind of federalism? Or what kind of governance or government do we practice in Nigeria? Because if we say, oh, we are practicing federalism, what is happening now? Everybody is defecting from one place. Some people are shouting, it's a one-party state. It's a one-party. At the end of the day, we still have other political parties.
Sorry, Asuko.
You understand? We still have other political parties.
What I mean is, so that you can help me buttress the point, what I mean is, we know what we experienced in the First Republic. Okay. We know that there is an Awolowo and his team who will not move to other party. Even when they are losing.
There was coalition at some point.
Coalition is different from defection.
So what will make
defection in this case is you're saying you're abandoning the ideals and the ideologies. There are still few.
The coalition too is also the same thing.
The PDP says it feels betrayed by this defection. Because looking at Senator Okowa, they gave him the platform. He was a governor, a vice presidential candidate, and yet this juncture. But hold that thought. We have Godwin calling in on the show. Godwin from Yola.
Guys, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Thanks for the lively discourse on this. You know, the thing for the common man is it's okay to define our kind of democracy and the fact that it's different from what obtains in other parts of the world. But what we should also think of as a people is when I decide to pick my voter's card and go to the polling booth to vote, it's because I want what the American that decided to pick Donald Trump as a lesser evil compared to the Democrat when it comes to the economy. When they decide, the same reason makes me go to vote. So when you have politicians that are completely focused on their own interests, then we will continue to, as a country, continue to have a myriad of problems we are grappling with because of the lack of sincerity. So it's okay to politic and make people cross over to your party.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, it's not a question of who is the wonderful Maradona that can dribble people around. What about the masses? Because at the end of the day, we will still get to pay the consequences of living like this.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Because should the PDP feel, don't you think the PDP feel betrayed?
In fairness, they should feel betrayed. That's let me retrace that word. That's the backbone of 2023 when it comes to funding, when it comes to the live wire of the party. So my point is, irrespective of these anomalies, I call it anomalies. You know, maybe as you know, Kusko is a political science student. I call it anomaly. You can support a candidate of other party without necessarily changing your identity of that party. We see it happen in America. There are some Republicans who didn't support Trump. Do you understand? But
won't that be anti-party? Won't there be anti-party activity?
Anti-party is not. That is when you go out and begin to say, "Don't vote for my candidate." But there are areas that you look at this person's ideology. This person is not focusing on ideology. He's not representing the interests of our party, like we have in the case of Trump. And they'll say, "I would rather vote for the other candidate." That's still better. But changing your party, it
still has some decoloration of anti-party.
I may not. Let me explain. I talk more like a politician than sometimes a journalist. Now we have some people.
You're a journalist, not a politician.
Who told you?
Polyjournalist.
For example, I remember someone like Lai Mohammed. He was on a live interview with me one day, and in fact on another channel, and somebody just mistakenly called him, the spokesperson of PDP. He said, never! He reacted. And he said, nothing will make me leave this party.
Okay.
He has been in court. He's not been in the mainstream of APC, but you won't see him jump ship. That is not you.
So ideology.
Someone like Tinubu has said it over and over again, that nothing will make him leave this progressive ideology of party. He will rather maybe some kind of way support a candidate from another party. But leaving the party, please, we should discourage it.
We should discourage it. It's not good for our democracy. But politicians never say never. We need to go on this quick break, and when we return, the conversation continues. Don't go anywhere. Still journalist Hangout.
When you're low on energy and need a break, give yourself a treat. Cadbury Hot Chocolate. Smooth. Crafted from cocoa, milk, and sugar. Creamy. Chocolatey. Frothy goodness. Rich taste. So satisfying.
Cadbury 3-in-1 Hot Chocolate. The treat you deserve.
Everybody cable. Great quality. Now with the new look.
Every attack on oil and gas facilities is an attack on our Commonwealth, and our environment suffers for it. The consequences are dire: environmental degradation, disruption of our agrarian culture, and economic hardship. Now, let's stand together against vandalism, crude oil theft, and illegal bunkering. Please report suspicious activities. Protect our Commonwealth and environment, for the fate of our nation depends on it. This message is from Tantita Security Services Nigeria Limited.
As it gradually winds down to the end of his first term in office, the governor of Ekiti State, Biodun Abayomi Oyebanji, took time to grant TVC News a rare interview. In an exclusive interview with Babajide Kolade Otitoju, Governor Oyebanji reflects on governance, service, and development, stressing that his objective in agriculture is to get the youths involved.
In the last 2.5 years, we have onboarded close to 3,000 youths in assist clusters and across the agric value chain. And what that one has opened our eyes to is that the youths are ready to work if you provide the enabling environment for them to do so. A youth going to agric must be able to tell himself that, look, I'm going to this business. From this business, I can build a house, I can buy a car, I can send my children to school. But if we still see agric as a poster for poverty, they will not go there.
The governor also highlighted his efforts to boost healthcare delivery in the state, as a sick society cannot prosper.
A sick society cannot prosper. Our objective in the health sector is based on a tripod of affordability, availability, and accessibility.
Governor Oyebanji justifies the airport project as a game changer, capable of attracting investors to the southwest state.
The only access to Ekiti is through road. You are not connected to rail. You cannot get here through the sea. So the airport, as far as we are concerned, is a game changer. It's one of the best things that has happened to Ekiti people, and it's completed and it's working.
Catch up with the interview on Journalist Hangout on TVC, Friday, 2nd May 2025 by 5 p.m.
All right, if you just joined us, it's still Journalist Hangout. I still have Asukwa James and Kaidi Ladendi. Now to our third conversation. The recent dispute between MTN and the Kogi State government has come to an end. The Association of Licensed Telecommunications Operators of Nigeria, ALTON, announced that the standoff, which led
The Inspector General of Police has met with senior officers to review.
There is always more to a story than the screaming headline. The part of a story that is not
company of violating operational rules and under-declaring the length of its optic fiber network coverage in the state. Okay, Asuko, it's good to know that the rift between MTN and the Kogi State government, has been solved. But looking at it, when you read this story, give us a backstory of this, what led to it, and to get to that point of shutting down.
Well, the first thing is it's more about operational, issues. The new guy that they have, they had a new DG, who actually looked through the files to see, the telcos that are doing, because he is involved in infrastructure, maintenance, and all that. So we now checked and noticed that the length of the optic fiber that they actually gave
discrepancies,
they gave to MTN, they exceeded it.
Exactly.
And when he looked at it, he actually reached out to MTN, but they couldn't give him a concrete and a credible answer. And not forgetting tax evasion and some other things that were aligned to it. But it's good that it has been resolved, because telecommunications now in Nigeria is very, very important.
Very
it's
vital.
It's more or less like our life. Do you notice that anytime you wake up in the morning, the first thing you do is your phone?
Yes, I have someone who fights me
It was
over that.
even recently that my Gio was saying that once you wake up in the morning, don't go and pick your phone.
Yeah,
pray first.
Someone fights me on that.
Pray first before you carry your
exactly.
phone. Then the thing now sung to my heart, and it's true.
Yes.
Because that is the first thing that everybody.
And it controls your mood.
Exactly.
Yeah, it does.
It controls everything.
Exactly.
You know. So even during emergencies, is your phone. You want to make money, is your phone. So everything you want to. So just imagine how much would have been lost. So thankfully, that matter has been resolved, because I just imagine if there was an emergency in Kogi at that period, and MTN that is the major telecommunications company there, you know what would have happened, you know. So it's good that this has been resolved, and then we don't expect that telcos will be exceeding, you know, once they say stay from this lane to this lane, stay there. If you want an extension, go back, you know, to the agency. Then you begin to write those normal documents, fill the normal document, and then get the extension.
So it's about non-compliance and also accountability. But talk to me. Subscribers are the most hit when things like that. But when you now shut down, describe to me, you know, how this will affect social economic activities.
Like you said, while we were thanking God that this is resolved, I think we need to pick out the lessons so that this is never happening again. It's unfortunate that this is the reality. Data is life. Like one of them mentioned, I don't want to mention the network. And that's to let you know that within that 5 minutes, I remember when we had a shutdown on, I think all the telecoms companies.
Yeah, because of an optic cable.
Almost like there's a coup. It's like Nigeria has been shut down completely. We're searching for, how do I communicate? How do I get in touch with it? That's how important this is. So to a large extent, I think the two of them didn't handle it well, in my view. The fact that, like MTN will boast, back then, I think they've changed it. They say everywhere you go. So they want to do anything to increase their network for everyone to have access. So what you need to do is to make sure that there is a full compliance. I know MTN to be very, very sensitive to ethical issues. So it is unthinkable to know whoever the manager is, whoever is handling that thing, that person needs to be summoned because it's a brand issue that you are violating the rules of where you operate from. I know how serious MTN can be on that. So if that is true, if the report is true, that somebody, you know, is trying to cut corners, because that's the language it is, that person should be called. I don't want to judge the person from a distance. You need to explain to the highest authority because you're in the news. So the implication cannot be underestimated. It's grave, it is serious. But like the outing president said, thank God. And that's to let every telecoms companies know that wherever state you are operating from,
you need to,
if you need to cry out, there is overtaxing, there is multiple taxation, let us know. But if it is about the rules that you operate from, you understand, there is no excuse for non-compliance. So I want to believe that the state government should tread with caution, think about the implication, insist on following the rules, then also make sure that you also don't chase away investors.
But Kaide, another thing is shutting down, you know, services for like a week. Don't you think it's like taking it too far?
It's two ways, Binga. I expect subscribers to deal with such network. If they were that careless to take subscribers for granted, there are alternatives. That's the good things about not allowing monopoly. So that's why I'm still trying to dig deeper, because that was a careless action by MTN. What made you take that decision has to be reviewed. And if at all they have every justification to take that decision, trust me, they have more to lose. Because it doesn't take anybody to quickly go move to another network. Just all you did is get your name and network,
and then you
may never.
They used to say you
yes, and you may never come to that.
Exactly.
So I'm still trying to dig deeper. Does MTN have any reason to take that decision? I think they have more to lose with that decision. They were not punishing Nigeria.
But do you think this matter could have been resolved without shutting down the service? I mean,
no, I think
do you think it's taking it too far here?
Maybe it could have been resolved without, shutting down. But what if, for instance, the government tried to, reach out and then MTN refused to also attend to them?
Because the story actually looks like that.
Like that.
It looks like that.
Okay, we are calling you to come and explain. But they have refused. And then the next thing, you have to shut down. You understand? So it's something that could have been resolved without all these issues. If for instance, you are supposed to take a party, there's a rule. Follow the rules.
Follow the rule. It's
just
not
like he
so
said,
difficult.
Just like he said, ethical issues. I'm surprised that MTN will fall into that,
ethical violations,
that trap.
Yes.
Because these are top brands, big company, multinational companies.
Absolutely.
That take their, rules, to that height. But I want to believe that they have learned their lesson. And others too will also learn their lesson, because you can't just go to any state or anywhere and then violate their laws. All states have their rules. If they say don't exceed, don't exceed. If you need to extend, go back to the agency, then let them give you the documents, then you sign and then you do what you want to do.
Absolutely.
Because, see, they are in serious competition now. True. Because I can tell you for free that in that Kogi, so many people would have moved.
Yes,
to
because
other telecommunications company, so that is a big loss for them.
Absolutely.
No matter how small that they think Kogi State is. But Kogi is like the melting point.
Absolutely.
About 8 to 9 states linked into Kogi alone. So people who are traveling to the north, they have to get to Lokoja.
Exactly, go through Lokoja.
So you know what they lost.
All right, we need to go on this quick break. And when we return, the conversation continues. Don't go anywhere. Still Journalist Hangout.
Together simple everyday things so that people can see how special the things around us are. I suppose it comes to us naturally. There's no way to really explain it other than if it's your work, it's your work, and if it's your gift, it's your gift. And that anything good takes time. And so you must be a little patient, even if you choose to leave the country.
I'm a real Nigerian, born Nigerian, a resilient Nigerian. I live by the citizens' code. I'm a real Nigerian, accountable Nigerian, a caring Nigerian. I live by the citizens' code. I'm a real Nigerian, born Nigerian, a resilient Nigerian. I live by the citizens' code. I'm a real Nigerian, accountable Nigerian, a caring Nigerian. I live by the citizens' code. I'm a real Nigerian, accountable Nigerian, a caring Nigerian. I live by the citizens' code.
My name is Chibo Oyebanji. I'm creative director at Manoko Atelier. We're a full-service interior design company and furniture company located in Lagos at Ikeja. We specialize in furniture making, space management, renovations, and we work with authentic African materials, local homegrown materials to develop fantastic, sophisticated spaces. And I've been doing this all of my life. I've always been around creativity. I've always been around artworks. My father himself is an artist. And so I started from when I was born, basically. But officially, my studio is 8 years old at the moment. The reception has been good. To be honest, people want African pieces that are authentic, sophisticated and clean. And so we've got good reception. So long as you can do the work very, very nice, neat, and it's durable, you'll definitely get customers that will consistently patronize you. So the reception has been great. And we came to this exhibition to showcase, our work, showcase who we are, and to show people that, you can get really quality materials, furniture pieces if you buy Nigerian, and the reception has not been bad so far. We work with wood, metal, natural fibers like jute, raffia, bamboo, rattan. I mean, we work with primarily those materials and combine them to form something very interesting that you'll see here at the exhibition and maybe on our website as well if you follow us. We're working with metal and wood. It's very, very durable. I mean, there's no material that you would use that doesn't have its own sort of way to care for it. So long as you follow those instructions, they work well. What's even best about working with natural materials is how biodegradable they are. They're friendly to the environment. If you get it from the environment, it's also easier on the environment as well. I mean, I've always known that a living is possible out of it because my father had made his living out of it. But for me, I started doing this professionally, full-time, 8 years ago when I settled. Before then, I would kind of do it as a hobby, in and out, because it was something I knew about. But 8 years ago, we decided to open our full studio, and we have a team of over 8 to 9 people working in studio. And this is aside our artisans at the workshop. I love Nigeria so much. I love our culture so much. And I really want to preserve it, show the world that we're wonderful. This is the reason why we're here at this exhibition, showing people, that Nigerians are special as well. The goal is to make sure that the world can see us for who we are, but most importantly, that we ourselves can see us for who we are. My studio alone is made up of young people, up and coming, and also I have artisans who are also up and coming, so we also train at the workshop. People intern at our studios. There's more than enough for us to do for the country itself, and if we are one of the first ones putting it forward, we're more than open to keep on teaching people.
Born Nigeria, a resilient Nigeria. I live by the citizens' code. I'm a real Nigerian, accountable Nigerian. I live by the citizens' code.
Powered by National Orientation Agency.
All right, still journalist Hangout. If you just joined us, by the way, let's move straight to our fourth and final conversation. As peace is gradually returning to Kaduna State, northwest Nigeria, the efforts of Governor Ubasani in that regard are beginning to draw commendation. The Bishop of Catholic Diocese of Sokoto, Reverend Father Matthew Kuka, has commended Governor Sani's initiatives aimed at stabilizing the state. During a visit to the state, Father Kuka, who also doubles as the Pro-Chancellor of the Federal University of Applied Sciences, Kashia, applauded the governor for his support in making the university a reality. He called for more government's intervention in infrastructure, land expansion, utility, and security. So, the bishop, the highly respected Bishop Matthew Kuka, has lauded Governor Ubasani, talking about his efforts in bringing stability to Kaduna State. But talk to me, what do you think Governor Ubasani is doing differently, to bring that much-needed peace and stability to the state?
I think one good thing he has done from the obvious is that he tried to look at where his predecessor fell short, and he decided to, right the wrongs in that area.
Especially in southern Kaduna.
Especially in southern Kaduna. And another thing I think he has done well is also to consolidate on some of his achievements too. And I think that's the way to go. If you come into government and you cannot beat the record of your predecessor, you're as good as wasting people's time. And coming from Father Kuka, I think that's where the story is. Because we've been hearing these commendations from different people, from ECWA, from different religious leaders who are very comfortable. Kuka is very, very critical. Kuka can have a dinner with you now and he will still hit you hard while on that dinner table.
Absolutely.
So coming from him is not to be taken for granted. So it speaks volume that whatever Ubasani is doing is not propaganda. By the way, we don't even see him as somebody who spends so much money in the media to project his image. It is his work that is speaking for him.
And he's speaking loudly.
And it is people who have been very, very critical of government, both at the state and at the federal, commending him. So that's the meaning of change. That's the meaning of impact. When it is, when they said it's only a fool that doubts a proof. There are no proof to say that this man is working.
Absolutely.
And there's no other way to describe it. Southern Kaduna has always been in the news for the wrong things. In fact, we got tired of reporting Southern Kaduna at the time because it's not happy. We are not happy reporting that this has been killed, this has been killed. And so it's to tell you that there's so much about leadership. Sure. That's the lesson. There's so much about leadership. Oh, the problem has been there. What's that war again? Zango Kataf, all kinds of issues. People will tell us, hey, it's not today. But somebody is curbing it. Somebody is bringing the non-kinetic approach. People are beginning to live together, and we can only support
Look at Berengwari, for example.
Yeah. Exactly.
What's going on there?
Yeah,
You know, we saw BKO doing, and it was even it was safe.
Yes. Exactly.
Exactly.
So
the president even talked about it. You know.
So it's just for us to encourage him. Let's learn the model from him. Irrespective, there's no doubt that he's almost as good as retaining his seat. But beyond that, let us learn the principle. Let's learn the strategy from this man. And
sustaining the momentum. How will you advise the government?
Well, I want to believe that he has his work cut out for him. Because first is to maintain peace. And in Kaduna, the major area that seems to be a bit volatile then was Southern Kaduna.
Absolutely.
And now that is pushing, you know, infrastructure and projects to that area, you know, the state is beginning to have that, you know, calm. For the federal government to thought it wise to, you know, situate a federal university in Kaduna, it means that the governor would have gone to meet the president to tell him that we need something there so that there will be that equitable resources distribution in that area. You understand? Because before they used to have universities in other places, but now a federal university is being put there, and they have a pro-chancellor who is a critic of any administration. You understand?
In fact, he still gave it hard to the president.
To the president recently.
Sunday.
Yes, recently. So it means that the governor now knows that, okay, now that I have this kind of person beside me and commending me, it means I need to give him everything. I need to give that institution all the support.
Now, talking about support now, the bishop also called for support.
Yeah.
You know, he's the pro-chancellor of the university.
So, because it's a new university.
And the good part is the governor also said, my doors are always open, showing that he's ready to support.
Exactly, because yes, sir. Because if you look at it, that's particular, for that institution, you know, to become what they really need it to. First, do you know when you have a university, what it does?
That's true.
You to create jobs economically. True. That area,
development in that area.
You know, that area alone will be open. People will start saying, oh, they want to go to Southern Kaduna to go to school. I can from Lagos here go to school in Southern because it's peaceful. You understand? That is one. Then now NUC, I heard that NUC has also accredited about 18, you know, courses. So it means people can still go there, you know, and school, create jobs. Local economies will be, would improve.
Exactly.
You understand? So the governor needs to now say, okay, how do I now help these people? The first thing, Father Kuka was saying, they need utility vehicles, they need, you know, roads. So roads, very important. So the governor will also have to open his doors and begin to look for how to make, you know, good roads into that institution. It's a federal institution. I know the federal government will also assist, but he can also start, which he has already been doing because he left off from where Nancy El-Rufai left, and he has continued. But this one is now looking and facing Southern Kaduna, which to me is a plus. Because look at that story that DKO did. You know, it opened my eyes to so many things. This is a region that nobody, during the election, it was only the president, this president that went there, and he went there in the night. And if they tell you how he got there, you will be amazed. But look at now, BKO went there and he came back.
And he said he even went to a place that without security.
You understand? So it shows that the governor is doing something, and the people there are happy, because this is a region that was abandoned completely for 8 years. And now the people are happy that at least there's a federal presence. So once you have a federal university, that is federal presence.
Obviously, the government must be doing something different to achieve that kind of result.
And let's stay more on this idea of federal university in a place. It's a massive strategy. You know, if you look at, that has always been the style. If you look at the school he finished from, you know, Agowoye, you know, there is no, the idea was not to situate a accommodation within the school. No. The students get accommodation around.
Exactly.
And when the students are on holiday,
the economy just exactly. Or they go on strike.
Weekends.
Exactly. So that's the level of improvement. That's the level of development that will come into that area. So kudos to, and that's why sometimes when you say some of these governors are working with the center, they know what they are doing. They want this place. But the good news again, so that Asuko does not think I'm justifying Okowa's defection, this man is not even looking at the party you come from. You will get all the federal support as long as you are part of Nigeria. So it's just an atomic.
So it's for everybody.
And that's a good one. It's not looking at, are you of my party or not? No. You get what you deserve. You get everything.
No, of course.
Absolutely. Well, it's a fine place for us to leave it. Asuko James, thank you so much for doing this beautiful evening. Kaidi.
Always a pleasure.
Appreciate you. Thank you so much. And also to the gentlemen and women in the back room, thank you so much for doing this production, making it a success. And also on Journalist Hangout today, you can watch the repeat broadcast of this episode tonight at 11. Join us on Sunday from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. for Journalist Hangout on Sunday. We're on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I am Benga Oreshegun. Bye for now, and God bless Nigeria. Beyond the Headlines is up next. Have a beautiful one.
The following is a paid presentation by ShopX TV.
Tired of spending endless hours in the kitchen? Struggling with bulky appliances? Cooking should be a delight, not a chore. Tired of messy cleanups from kitchen tools that never seem to perform as expected? Do you wish there was a single solution to handle all your blending, chopping, and grinding needs? Introducing the Cook X 4-in-1 Blender, the ultimate kitchen tool to revolutionize your cooking. It's a food processor, mixer, grinder, and blender, all in one. The incredible Cook X 4-in-1 Blender comes with 3 versatile cup sizes, each tailored to handle a specific task perfectly. Cook X 4-in-1 Blender to your door for free. But hurry! This flash sale is for a limited time only. Stock is running out fast, so don't miss this opportunity to upgrade your kitchen at an unbeatable price. Call now while stocks last.
Preceding is a paid presentation by ShopX TV.
As it gradually winds down to the end of his first term in office, the governor of Ekiti State, Biodun Abayomi Oyebanji, took time to grant TVC News a rare interview. In an exclusive interview with Babajide Kolade Otitoju, Governor Oyebanji reflects on governance, service, and development, stressing that his objective in agriculture is to get the youths involved.
In the last 2.5 years, we have onboarded close to 3,000 youths in assist clusters and across the agric value chain. And what that one has opened our eyes to is that the youths are ready to work if you provide the enabling environment for them to do so. A youth going to agric must be able to tell himself that, look, I'm going to this business. From this business, I can build a house, I can buy a car, I can send my children to school.